What is going on, guys? Ultimate Deadpool here. If by some chance you hear a slight noise in the background, I put a new fan up here because it gets really hot underneath the loft bed. But we have three new characters. Well, they're new to you guys. I've had these for almost a month because I haven't had time to do any figure review videos lately. But these are all three pretty much brand new figures. We got Leatherface, Part 4 is Jason, and the Joker. So we're going to go through each one of these one by one. There are a lot of Ghostbuster characters to go over as well, but I'm going to wait until I have all of the Ghostbuster figures, because there's one of those special Build-A-Figures or whatever the hell it is, Build-A-Ghost or something like that, and I want to do that all in one take and not break it up into sections. So I do have three Ghostbusters now. I still need to get the other three, Winston, Dana, and Gozer. But other than that, I have Peter, Ray, and Egon. So let's go ahead and jump right into things. Okay, I'm not exactly sure which version of this Joker is. He looks like the one from the Arkham game, but I could be wrong. I'm sure I am. I think this is the DC Elite or DC. It's something. It's one of the. It's like the Marvel Legends version of DC characters. Really good quality. He has a lot of movable features. His shoulders can move, just like Wolverine. The middle parts of his arms can. His elbows can bend really nicely, and his hands can also bend. So there's really good articulation in the arms alone. The legs have a little bit less articulation, but you can see that he can definitely move his legs relatively easy. And even his toes are able to move. His head can move up and down and around, blah, 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 blah. Overall, on detail, I think this is a really good detail. I had like the Musketeers looking Joker figure. I don't know if anyone remembers that. It literally looked like Joker was one of the Three Musketeers. And it was a really, really weird figure. If my editor is actually good, there should be a picture of what it looked like on screen, only if he was able to find a photo of the thing. So Joker actually kind of has a hard time standing up by himself, just because of the way his shoes are. So if I had to guess, this actually kind of looks like the Killing Jokes version of the Joker, even though I know for a fact it's not. Otherwise, it would have had, oh, this is Joker from the Killing Joke, blah, 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 blah. I love the acid flower, the overall 30s look on his torso. The gold chain is pretty good. His belt buckle has his face, which I actually didn't notice until now. He does come with a clattering teeth, or two clattering teeth toys. The head sculpt for this Joker's, see, and that's what I mean. His shoes just don't let him stand up, or don't allow him to stand up. And yes, I realize he's standing on Lego base plate, but still, I think the face is actually what gives this Joker a really good look, because it's very easy to screw up Joker's face. I still haven't watched the 2019's Jack Phoenix Joker, because I do not like the look of the Joker at all, and I do not like the overall story that they chose. It is not anywhere near close to the comic books, and I know that's what the director wanted, but I don't know. It just didn't work for me. I didn't bother watching the movie. I know a lot of people say it's good. I may give it a shot, but I'm not saying yes or no to it. But anyway, I would rate this Joker a 9 out of 10. Most of that is on detail, articulation, and overall paying attention to this head sculpt, the overall design work. Um, and the reason why I wouldn't give it a 10 is because he does not stand up by himself easily. He does have to have a base plate to stand up. I realize he's standing on a Lego plate now, without the transparent NECA base plate. But that's my only complaint. And I think I actually got a defective one. I didn't notice this until now. But if you look closely, his which one is it? Where is it? His smile on one side of his face doesn't quite match up. The lipstick part doesn't quite match up with his actual lip. And it's not very noticeable when it's far away. But when you get up close to it, and this thing is going to be under lights on one of my display cabinets for the next one that I build, because you guys saw the one that I did yesterday for the NECA horror movie characters. That he just that's something that's going to end up bothering me personally. I realize it's not a big deal because you really can't see it. But those are my only complaints, is that he does not stand up correctly by himself. And that's it. So on to the next character. And this is where the part of the video where I'm sure I'm going to piss off a bunch of people. I have not actually seen the Texas Chainsaw Massacre movies. I keep trying to. But I never really cared for that series. And yes, I know I do live in Texas. And yes, I know that actually happened several years ago. But it's just not one of those movie franchises that I really got into. I've seen bits and pieces of the first movie, and it was okay. And I realize it's made in the 70s and stuff like that, and it's not, great compared to today's standards. But I do know who Leatherface is. I do know what he does, and I do know what his family does. So, overall, the look on this figure is actually pretty good. I like the way they did the his apron. The apron looks really good. It's an actual leather cloth almost. And I like the fact that they gave him cowboy boots, because normal characters I've seen figures like these that they just give him regular sneakers or just regular shoes in general. And I like the way that they paid attention to detail on that aspect. The overall veinage look on his arm is actually really good. I don't know what the hell his bracelet is, or his wristband, or whatever it's supposed to be. It looks like barbed wire, but I don't know if it is or not. The chainsaw looks really good. The only thing I'd have to complain is of this part here at the bottom. There's not a whole lot of color detail there, but I can understand why they would leave that part alone, considering he's usually going to have it down. Or he's going to have it up over his head. Very similar to, I'm pretty sure what he did in the movie. The only other thing I could complain about this character is the actual cloth thing itself comes undone very easily, and it is almost impossible to retie. I actually had to do a custom knot on the cloth because it came undone and it didn't work. Overall, the actual character looks really nice. The face looks, the mask looks just like it did in the Part 1 movie. And I do like the blood splatter on the apron. Like I said, the overall detail on this is really good. He does come with a couple of accessories. Here's his box. So he does have the what amounts to like an old lady mask. I don't know why he has that. Meat cleaver, special knife, a crowbar, and a hammer. And then obviously his fundamental chainsaw. So I would give Leatherface I'd say a 7.5 on rating. And most of it's nitpicky detail. And also, please don't be mad at me, I have not actually watched the Texas Chainsaw Massacre movie. I've seen bits and pieces of it, but I haven't seen the full movie from start to finish yet. It is on one of my things to do before too long, but with that being said, I think if they had done the knotting on this better, or just made it have longer straps so that way if it does come undone, you can fix it easily. Don't make the tie fabric as well. And then that little bit of detail on the chainsaw. But other than that, posability is great, just like all of these things are. The detail work on the face and overall body is really good. I do like the fact that they gave him cowboy boots instead of just regular shoes. And that's I also like the wrinkles on the shirt. It definitely makes it look more authentic and real. And I do like the blood splatter on the apron as well. So I'll bump it up to about an 8.5 on this character. I don't know why they gave him an old lady head. Maybe I guess that's something he does in the movie. He puts on a grandma looking head or a face mask or something. I don't know. But anyway, on to the last character. Alright, now we have Friday the 13th, the final chapter, or part 4's Jason. This is the Friday the 13th movie where they actually do kill Jason Voorhees, even though it doesn't stay that way for long, because nobody cared for Roy Burns. It was a nice try, but it didn't work. So, honestly, when you compare part 4's with part 3's, you can definitely see why a lot of those movies didn't really do so well after the first 2 sequels. Yeah, they were still making some money, but Jason's face changes literally every single film. Like, the first movie, he looks weird. The second movie, he looks completely different from the first one. The third movie, he looks completely different from the second one. And the fourth movie, he looks completely different from the third one. Great example. Alright, so here's part 3's Jason. And if you take the mask off, Jason looks, well, right now he's a little bloody. But Jason has an overall very deformed face. And then when you compare that with part 4's look, it's completely different. So there's a whole bunch of inconsistencies with Jason's look. It's actually not that different now that I actually look at them side by side. But there is definitely a lot of inconsistencies with part 3's look compared with part 4's. And they never really kept Jason's face the same in any movie. If you take a look at part 6, he starts to have rotting flesh because he's an undead zombie. And then part 7, he has more bone showing and everything, and that's because he was rotting underwater. That makes sense. But then after part 7, his face took a complete opposite turn in part 8, and then in part 9, he's just a freaking skeleton with a mask embedded in his face. Speaking of which, NECA, if you watch this video, please make Friday the 13th Part 7's Jason as one of these. I know you guys did it in 2005, and it was one of your all's bigger ones, but there's no posability like these. If you guys could do one of these as Part 7's, that would be very much appreciated, because a lot of people do like the Part 7 look, and that you guys would have a massive opportunity to include as much detail as you possibly could in that. So, overall, this is a solid figure. I do like part 4 because it is different to a point. I do like Tommy Jarvis in that movie. I think he's a really good character in that 4th movie. After that, it kind of goes downhill. So his weapons of choice, he's got a double-sided battle axe, a machete, Pamela Voorhees' tombstone, another hand, the corkscrew, a meat cleaver or a pig splitter, and a butcher knife, and he also has an alternative head. We will get to those, the alternative head at least, in a few seconds, or in a few minutes. So, but again, overall, Jason's look doesn't really change from parts 3 to 4. His outfit doesn't really change. The only thing I can tell is he has the another button on the top part of his collar has been buttoned up, and he has changed pants. That's it. Everything else is still the same from part 3. And speaking of which, Jason needs a manicure, like, really badly. Those are some nasty-ass fingernails. Don't be afraid of self-care, Jason. And, I do like that they gave him the bone saw, or the hand saw, from the opening part of that movie. I do like that scene very much, because it was actually done very well. And like I said earlier, the overall facing looks really good. I do like the fact that they gave him darker rings around his eyes. A, to show tiredness, but B, when you do put on his mask, you actually don't really see his eyes through it, just like in the movie. Because in part 3, and the part 3's Jason NECA character, or NECA character, does not really follow that. I mean, you can kind of see the eyes through it, but it only on camera does it not look like it. But in real life, you can see it perfectly clear. So maybe that's why the part 4's Jason, they kind of added a little bit more gray around the eyes, or just made the eye holes on the mask a little smaller, just so that way you can't really see the eyes through the mask. I do like the attention to blood that they added on the side of his face, which we'll get to that on the other head. And I actually do kind of like the look of this Jason's face. I wish they had stuck with that one for the entire series, with the exception of Part 7's. I love Part 7's face. So I'm going to go ahead and make a quick jump scene, and Jason will have two new accessories on his head. Alright, so now Jason has his second head on, so let's go ahead and take off the mask. So I really, really like this alternative head that he comes with. See if you can focus on his face. So that face, you can't really see it on his eye, but that face looks like he's in pain, mostly because you got a machete on the side of your head. And I do like the fact that they included the dead eye on his right side. Oh, well, the left side, my right, his left. Now, I wish they had added a little bit more blood on the side of the head. But then, if you guys, for those of you who like to make movie moments or something, you can take the machete and actually stick it in the side of his face, just like in the actual movie, which I think is a really good touch for people who want to put these things on display and have like an actual like movie segment thing. So basically, what that means is if you wanted to have like a movie type moment, you could always have like, oh, Freddy Krueger hitting Jason in the face with the machete, or Michael Myers or Ash Williams or somebody hitting him in the face with a machete, just to kind of pay homage to that final moment when Jason gets the machete in his face and he drops down dead. So I do like the fact that they included that. That's a really good touch, considering that is one of the most, if not the most, rewatched part of the Friday the 13th franchise. If I'm not mistaken, I could be wrong. Because Jason has never really been shown to die or feel pain for that matter. And the fact that they killed him he was killed by like a 10-year-old kid with a machete, by his own machete, that's pretty bad on his part. But anyway, that's pretty much it for this video. On part 4's Jason, I would probably give him a solid 9 out of 10. And I say that because the machete, the blood on the machete kind of looks a little wonky. It looks like it's been gone over with a pen or something. The overall blood on the side of the face of the machete head could have been done a little bit better, considering you don't come away with a clean cut like that and don't have a bloody face. I'm sorry, that does not work. So most of it's just, me bullshitting But, you know, all in all, the rest of the weapons look really good. The battle axe does not have any blood on it. Neither does the corkscrew. Oh, wait, no, the corkscrew does. I wish they had given the corkscrew a little bit of a feature, movable feature, so that we can pay homage to that wonderful scene in that movie. Tad, where the hell's the corkscrew? And then have the corkscrew go in somebody's hand. But, you know, details. I'm literally just complaining at this point. But anyway, all three of these characters look really, really good. If you do not have these things, I got all of these at my local Walmart. So, and then I actually got part of Forge Jason at Target. So, they are about $30 a character. Joker, I think, was like 19, maybe 20. But all the other ones are about, you know, $30, which is typical because, you know, NECA has to have massive detail. But anyway, thank you guys so much for watching. For those of you who stuck around this long, I appreciate it. And I will see you guys all next time on Ultimate Deadpool. Peace out. You guys are awesome. I'll see you guys all later. Bye.